Hi everyone, and welcome back to the MFT YouTube channel. It's Karolyn here, and I'm popping in today to share a super fun and easy fold that I love to use on my clean and simple cards to add a fun twist to the standard A2 card. I made a similar card earlier this month and decided to share how I made it using another of my favorite stamp sets, Meant to Be, and the stitched Hexagon STAX Die-namics. In addition to the Meant to Be stamps and dies and the stitched Hexagon STAX Die-namics, I'll also be using the stitched sentiment strips and the chicken wire stencil. For cardstock, I'll be using smooth white, black licorice, and pineapple, as well as some Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock because it's Copic friendly. I'm starting off by centering and securing the second and fourth largest of the stitched Hexagon STAX Die-namics and die cutting them from the pineapple and smooth white cardstock off camera. I've removed the center pineapple die cut, and I'm lightly blending some Wild Honey Distress ink onto the panel using the chicken wire stencil. I thought this would add some fun interest and color to the card. Adding distress ink is one of my favorite ways of bringing a clean and simple card to the next level. It's so easy to do. I've trimmed a 4 1/4 inch by 11 inch card base from smooth white cardstock, and I'm scoring it at 3 1/4 inches. I'll fold on the crease line, perfect it with my Teflon bone folder, and place the folded base back into my score buddy. I'll score a second time at 5 1/2 inches. This will give me an asymmetrical gatefold card base. Now I'm taking the pineapple hexagon frame die cut and centering it onto the shorter of the two gatefold flaps. I'll apply some tape runner adhesive to the upper portion of the die cut and adhere it. Then I'll add tape runner adhesive to the back of the white hexagon frame and adhere it to the back of the other frame. This will give a cleaner and more finished look to the inside of the card. I want to add that this technique can be accomplished with any symmetrical frame die, as long as you have a frame and an interior piece that fits perfectly inside the frame. So try looking through your stash to see which of your die sets will work. Now I'm taking the ink blended hexagon and inserting it inside the frame. I'll add some adhesive to the bottom of the back of the die cut, and I'll adhere it to the bottom gatefold flap. You can see that the frame helps align the inside piece perfectly. Then I'll add tape runner adhesive to the back of the white hexagon and adhere it to the inside of the card base, again to keep a clean and finished look. I'm stamping the 3 B's from the Meant to Be stamp set onto some Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock using some black licorice hybrid ink, because both are Copic friendly. I'll die cut the B's off camera using the coordinating Meant to Be Die-namics. And while I have my mini Misty out, I'll stamp the sentiment from the Meant to Be stamp set onto some black licorice cardstock using my favorite Sweet Tooth pigment ink. And you'll notice that I did a bit of stamp surgery with my scissors to just include the words happy and day with a gap in between. I promise this won't hurt your stamps for future use. I've added some white embossing powder, and I'm tapping it with my fingers and use a paintbrush to sweep away any stray bits of powder. I'll heat it up with my embossing gun off camera. I'm centering and securing the stitched sentiment strip Die-namics over the sentiment, and I'll run that through my Big Shot. I'm doing some super simple coloring of the B's with a Copic marker. I didn't even bother to do any shading because the images are just so small. Copics are a great way to add vibrant color, but you can use any of your favorite coloring mediums instead. Now I'm adhering one of the B's to the center of the sentiment strip using a thin 3D foam square. Then I'll adhere the assembled sentiment strip to the bottom portion of the card base with more foam squares. I decided at the last minute to add some bee trails to the card. So I pulled out my regular Misty, positioned the bee trail stamp, and stamped it using some black licorice hybrid ink. I was taking a big chance that I wouldn't mess up the card because of the layers, but my Misty did its job like a champ. In hindsight, I'd probably just use a black gel pen to create the bee trails. Less chance of messing things up. Now I'm adding the other 2 B's to the inside of the ink blended hexagon with some thin 3D foam squares. And as a final detail, decided to add some sparkling clear sequins with some multimedia matte. Honestly, you can't go wrong with sparkling clear sequins. I think they're the perfect finishing touch. And there you have it. The ink blended hexagon fits perfectly inside the frame for a super fun folding technique. You could even add a gift card or money and feel assured that what's inside is safe and secure when opened. Thanks so much for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll give this fun fold technique a try yourself. Be sure and check out the other videos on the MFT YouTube channel for more great content. Until next time, have a fabulous day.